This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Marriott's on the move.
What?
Marriott's on the move.
Again?
Marriott's on the move.
If you're dreaming about moving to a new city to pursue the life of your dreams, this podcast is for you. Moving 18 times in 23 years to 5 of America's top cities, I know it's not easy to make those decisions alone. I help you develop the dream, the plan, and the move, even if we need to get scrappy to get you there. I'll be doing interviews, career and city spotlights, and sharing my crazy moving stories, tips, tricks, and scams to avoid. Traveling to explore your dreams has never been easier. Now let's get moving. Hey, y'all. So I literally just walked in the door from my trip to Waco, Texas. I felt like I need to just do a quick recap while it's all like fresh in my brain and just tell you about what an incredible weekend I had. So this is what I look like after a travel day. My hair's up in a ponytail. I still have my cowboy boots on. Literally. I did run to the bathroom because, it's just getting through the airport and waiting for the Uber and all that stuff. But I will say that I do love traveling when it's for personal reasons, way more than I love it for work. So this was just a really incredibly fun weekend. So basically what happened was I flew into Austin because Waco, Texas is kind of in the middle. It's like 2 hours from Dallas Airport, Austin Airport, Houston Airport. So anywhere you go, it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours to get to Waco, Texas. But it is just the cutest little town. I've been many, many times. But so essentially, I flew into Austin and I met up with my friend Michelle, who is just, I love her so much. She's one of those people, like, she gets me. She's, if you follow Gretchen Rubin's Four Tendencies, she's an upholder. So she puts the work into everything she does. And I am so excited for her. She recently got engaged to just a wonderful man named Alex. And I'm super excited for them and their new life together. So congratulations, Michelle. So then it was kind of funny because South by Southwest is coming to Austin. It starts on March 8th. I think it's the date. But basically, South by Southwest is a huge festival. It's like interactive. There's music, there's film, there's kind of everything. It's just kind of it's a really, really big experience and a really neat experience, but it takes over all of Austin. So Michelle and I met at a restaurant called Caroline's, which was so amazing. Our waiter, Doug, I think his name was just lovely. I had 2 green juices and I think 2 lattes. But it was just a great meal, and it's connected to a hotel. So I went to the valet and I gave them my ticket, and they said, so they're shooting a music video up the hill. And so we're not exactly sure when we can get your car out because it's literally right in front of the garage. And I was like, I have a dinner in Waco at 8 p.m. And granted, I had plenty of time to like get to my Airbnb and unpack and like steam my clothes, which is what I do when I travel. But it was just one of those that like we didn't know if it was going to be 2 hours or tomorrow. Like they really couldn't give me an estimate. Luckily, it was just under an hour that I waited, but it was kind of a pain. But it was neat because I love people watching, and I got to see people walking by, and it was still light out when I ended up getting on the road. So I didn't have to worry about driving in the dark, which I don't care for very much. I'm getting old and my eyes are getting worse and worse as the night, driving at night. But anyway, long story short, I stayed in this adorable little Airbnb, which totally got me thinking like maybe I should get a condo in Waco and Airbnb it out, because it was literally 2 blocks from the Magnolia Network. Their silos. So if you follow Chip and Joanna Gaines, they have it is an incredible area. They have put Waco on the map. It's like they have 2 big silos, like actual farm silos. And then they have all these like shops where if you watch Fixer Upper, which a couple of my girlfriends and I went out to Waco several years ago when they first opened. They have an not an Airbnb. They have their own bed and breakfast, and it sold out in like 13 minutes. Like we somehow got a couple day, like a weekend trip there, but it was so neat. And they have a new hotel that they just opened up. I think it's called like 1918 or something like that, or 1819. um but the Airbnb that I had was literally like 2 blocks from the silos, which they have like food trucks. And if you ever go there, I'm not even kidding, and I think most of you know that I'm gluten and dairy free. I talk about it a lot on the show and in my mailer and stuff. um they have this woman, her name is Shamika, and she runs a food truck called the Waffle Chick. If you are gluten and dairy free, you need to go there. First of all, you would never know it's gluten and dairy free, but oh my gosh, she makes the best chicken tenders, the best waffles, to the point where, like, yesterday, I was so tired and I had such a long day. We had the block party, which I'll get into what that was. And I actually, like, I was gonna take a nap. I like meditated for 20 minutes just to like pull my body down and like let it rest for a second because I had just been go 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 the entire weekend. And then I was like, nope. I like got up. I was like, I gotta go get some of Shamika's waffles and chicken. It was so good. Because I just don't get treats like that on, that are gluten and dairy free. So I got all the way down there and she was closed. And I was like, what? I was so disappointed, but the door was open in the back. So I snuck my head in and I was like, Shamika, like, you're closed. I thought you were closing at 5. I thought I was just going to make it. And she's like, I sold out. Y'all, that's how good. Oh my gosh, I'm saying y'all already. I've been back for all of like 30 minutes and I'm saying y'all, but that's how good it is. So please, if you get to the silos and you get to see the food trucks, go visit Shamika and tell her Marriott from Marriott's on the Move sent you. She's not going to give you a discount or anything, I don't think. But just support her because oh my gosh, she's just the loveliest human being. She knows Corey from Rogue Media Network. So the whole reason I went down was for the Rogue Media sponsorship of the Waco Block Party. So it was something new that they started. They just opened the Texas Music Cafe. So it had been opened a long time ago and then they closed down and they just reopened it. So they had like a film festival going on during the day. They were doing live streaming and tapings of the podcasts that they have on their network. So I had the awesome experience of having Heather Renee May of Flipping Dreams, and she has a brand new podcast called Traveling Troubadours. Now, she is, first of all, the consummate professional. Her and I had dinner the night before, which I should backtrack and tell you about my Thursday, or no, my Friday. Yeah, because my Friday was pretty incredible. But we had drinks, so we got to know each other a little bit. So I'll get into the interview. But basically, that night I got there, we went to the oh gosh, what's it called? Like South Roots Brewery. Kaylin is one of the owners. She was amazing. Southern Roots, I think it's called. Oh man, I'm blanking on it. I'm gonna have to look it up and I'll put it in the show notes because they were just awesome. It's a cool little pizza place. We got there, they were playing musical bingo with like some 70s bands that I had never heard of for the most part. Like Lil Feet, but they had like Leonard Skinner and some of the other ones. Bob Seger was one of them. There was a kid there that was like, he had to be like 8 or 9 years old and knew every single song that they played, which was incredible. Um, but so we got together with a couple people. I met a couple other podcasters there. One of them was the guy that is on Ask Melvin Anything. It's a show that they do about technology. And then the next morning they had a networking, you could just come into the Rogue Media Studios, which is in the Alico building. Beautiful view, 21st floor. Just you can see all of Waco. I didn't know that Dr. Pepper like was founded there and has a museum there. They have all kinds of cool like they had a candy store by the silos where I was staying called Hey Sugar. That was really cute and just looked like, I legitimately walked across the street. So I did not go in there because sugar is just one of those things I try to avoid, but oh my gosh, I could smell it from the street and it was like awesome. But yeah, so I went up there, got to meet a few people. And then because I work in technology during the day, Mike Hamilton, who's my producer, he pulled me into the room. Ask Melvin Anything was doing a show with another lovely gentleman that I am blanking on his name right now. I'm so sorry. Anyway, we did the show. We were talking about AI. I was talking actually about how I've used AI to help people figure out where to move. Like, it's a great, ChatGPT is great. Like, you can get in there and say, I want to live in a place where I have like access to a lake and outdoor hiking, but I also want craft coffees and, bourbon breweries. Where should I live if I was looking to move to a place that had all those things? And it'll build you a list of places that you can go and check out. So that was neat. So I jumped on there for about 20 minutes and kind of gave my perspective about using technology and using AI specifically in the realm of moving, especially because there's like moving scams have become so sophisticated, and it just, like that, I'm sure they're using AI for bad, not for good. So I want more people to use it for good. But then we ended up, I went straight over to Magnolia Network and the actual headquarters, and I met with two just amazing women. One named Michelle. She is kind of a leadership speaker. She works at Magnolia. She does the retail. And then another one named Meredith, and she is starting her own consulting business. And I love women who are ambitious and get after it, but also are like real and normal, and you can have a conversation with them and just like connect on like a deeper level as somebody who's doing the same thing I am. Like, they're starting a podcast, and it's really cool. They've got two different perspectives on just things that they're going to be bringing up, right? So I can't wait to hear that. The trailer is out. I will get the link and I will put it in the show notes as well. And I spent a couple of hours there. Magnolia just built their brand new headquarters, and it is beautiful. Like, everything that you imagine it would be after watching Fixer Upper ever. Even if you've watched one episode, you can see everything has like Joanna's touch on it. And then there's like a test kitchen where they do all their recipes. So Magnolia Journal is the publication that Joanna Gaines puts out every month. And like this one this month was about the art of possibility. And she and her family, like 24 members of her family, took an amazing trip to Seoul, Korea. That's where her mom is from. And so she got to see, her mom's hometown through her mom's eyes. And, just such a cool story. But then in the magazine, they had awesome, different bagels that are out there. And they had salad dressing recipes, which I like literally am going to try them all, because after reading it, I was kind of hungry when I read it. And I was like, oh my gosh, those all sound amazing. So then after Magnolia, I went back to my Airbnb and I got ready, and I went to the KWTX local CBS station, and I was on the news. It was the coolest experience. I can tell you, I was a weather girl in college for the River Region News down in Carbondale, Illinois, and I had not been on a TV set like that, like a news set, since then. And I instantly got the giggles. That's why I got kicked off the show, because I could never keep a straight face. There was a guy named Chad who I'm still friends with today, and he would like say things to me right before I went on air, and it would just make me laugh, and then I couldn't stop giggling, and the nerves got the best of me, so I didn't last very long there. But it was so neat. We did a little interview. We I talked about what the podcast is about, and obviously if you're listening, you already know. But I just got to connect. And then they were also, because Rogue Media Network was sponsoring the Waco Block Party, we did a little plug there. So it was just such a cool experience. And then I met Heather for drinks and awesome Mexican food. I met these two amazing women who I ended up like hanging out with the rest of the night, because Heather had to go home and get her adorable dog Dottie, who I cannot wait to meet from daycare. Apparently she's a doggy gang leader and has a whole group of dogs that she leads in this in this fun gang, which is so funny. I hope that she gives Dottie her own Instagram so we can follow her and her antics. But yeah, so I had dinner, hung out with Aunt Sherry and Lee from Houston, who were, oh my gosh, we just had way too much fun. I had just had dinner, but then we went out and I think I had desserts and stuff, and we had some wine, and just like a really super just fun night, you guys. And I needed that. Like I have just been go, go, go between work and the podcast and trying to get everything. It's like I'm working full-time job, 2 full-time jobs. So it was a neat experience. It's just like to hang out and chill and kind of be on vacation, but also kind of be working. And then the next day was the block party. So my cousin Johnny and his gorgeous wife Courtney. I mean, they're just disgustingly good looking as a couple. It's just scary how pretty they are. But they came down to visit me from Austin. I have always Johnny and I have always like had a great relationship. He's one of my favorite cousins. And I can honestly say I don't know that many of my cousins are listening. I've literally got 42 first cousins on my mom's side alone. My mom was one of 11, so I have a gigantic family. And I think I have like 23 on my dad's side. So but for sure one of my favorite cousins. We just always got along, and so it was neat to hang out with them, and they came to the Waco Block Party with me. We taped the recording of my podcast. So Heather Renee May literally interviewed me, which I'm always interviewing someone. So it was kind of neat to like have it on the other side of it. So she interviewed me at the Texas Music Cafe, which is such a cool venue. I'm going to put a plug right now in there. So she's doing this podcast called Traveling Troubadours. You guys, it is the coolest concept. And I hope if you go and visit Waco, you go on a weekend where a traveling troubadour is playing. So what they're doing is she is going to be, it's almost like a radio show. So she will have an artist come on. So we actually went last night and went and saw this group. Though it's a husband and wife duo. They had been on The Voice, I think like season 20 or something. The wife wasn't feeling well, so she didn't end up coming. So the guy did the set on his own, and oh my gosh, he has like the voice of an angel. So does Heather. Like Heather should be doing like meditation voiceovers. But anyway, so what she's doing on the show is she's going to have like they'll play a song, and then they'll talk about the song, and then they'll play another song, and they'll talk about the song, and it's all as a lead up to them playing live at the Texas Music Cafe. And Heather is she's a music artist herself, and so she plays the fiddle and guitar and like all kinds of musical instruments. So she'll be opening for them. So you'll get a couple songs from her. And she's got two podcasts, or I'm sorry, two albums that you can find on Apple Music. It's Heather Ray, R-E, with like a whatever the accent is over the E. It's French en français. And so she's gonna have them come up and do they're gonna do a set. It's $20 for the tickets. She's got several weeks lined up already. So it should be a really cool experience, especially for the local Waco community. There's a lot of music that comes down from Austin and Houston and Dallas, and so they're really making Waco like a new musical hotspot. So it's pretty cool. And so we went and did the podcast live. They streamed it, I think. I don't know where they streamed it, so hopefully we'll find that out. But so she interviewed me for like an hour. I did have a couple drinks the night before, so I did several times have to ask her what the questions were, because kind of like now I went off on a tangent. And yeah, but it was fun. We had a good time. Like she has moved as many times as I have, and we've lived in a lot of the same places. In fact, she did RV life for 2 years. So certainly if you're interested in the RV life, like get on her Traveling or Flipping Dreams podcast to hear about that, because she definitely goes into detail about the good and the bad and the ugly. But yeah, so then afterwards we went to the Waco Block Party. There was a battle of the bands. There were like 40 vendors, and I got a hat, like a baseball hat, or a trucker hat made that says "Move," MOVE, like in really big, gigantic letters. It's kind of funny, but I thought it was fun. And I have one moving hat that says "Moving Forward Together" from Savvy, and I was super excited about it. And then they stopped making it, so I need to like reach out to Savvy and see if I can get my hands on any more of those. I'll take the rest of the stock and do them as giveaways. And then what did I do last night? I had we went out and saw the guy that was playing that's going to be on Traveling Troubadours. And my phone is literally in my bag on my luggage. And if you're on my YouTube channel, you're seeing me point into my hallway right now, because it's right there. And I should probably get you know what? I'm going to go get it so I can tell you who's playing. Hold on. Hand it back. Okay, you probably heard my cowboy boots clanking in there. So traveling troubadours. Where is my text from her? Heather. Oh geez, where is it? Oh, there it is. So yes, so the weekly podcast is going to be released on Tuesdays. And the first one is March 9th, and it's Jesse Legge, Lege, with an accent over the first E, and then Bosco Stomp, April 13th. So it looks like it's the second Saturday of the month in downtown Waco. April 13th is Jesse Lee Band. May 11th is Chad Boyd. June 8th is Tuna and Walt Wilkins. And then July 13th. Oh, the Union Revival. That was the guy that we saw last night. Holy cow, you guys. I literally downloaded, like, as I was sitting there, 2 songs in, downloaded their album on Apple Music because he was that good. And then August 10th is the Outlaw Firm. September 14th is Rich Del Grosso and Grant Dermody. And then October 12th is Chris Beal. So Texas Music Cafe. The tickets are like $20. You can't beat it. So anyway, so we went and saw that guy. And then this morning I got up super early. I'm an hour ahead, so it didn't feel super early. It felt like it was like 10 in the morning. But I got up at like 7 and I like cleaned out the Airbnb and, got all my stuff packed up, and I got on the road and I went to this coffee place to meet an old coworker of mine. His name is Chris Wilson. Super good dude. He just got married. He's going to have a baby soon in June, which I'm super happy for he and his wife. But it's called the Better Half Coffee House. Better Half Coffee and Cocktails. Oh my gosh. It was like the best cup of coffee I've had in a long time. I did have a cup at Brew, BRU, in Waco, which was fantastic as well. But this place, by the time we left, the line was out the door and all the way around the side of the building. So we got there at the absolute perfect time. So you have to get there before 10 a.m. If you want less of a line. But that place was fantastic. And then I got to see my friend from San Francisco. She has a blog. I think she has a blog. She's the tech chick from Instagram. Let me find her Instagram. She's awesome. You want to follow her. She does all kinds of cool stuff. She's actually working South by Southwest. And it's NRC Peanut. Yeah, she's the founder and editor of at High Tech Chick, and it's high_tech chick. CHIC. She's awesome. She's a contributor for like USA Herald. Like, she just does a ton of stuff like fashion and lifestyle. Her husband goes to Korea a lot for work because he works with Samsung, and so she gave me a couple goodies, which was awesome. Like, one's like an amazing face mask, and because they've got, like, Koreans have their skincare set. Like, I want to go there just to get it. She was telling me about these collagen sticks that are amazing. But it was one of those, like, I got to see her as well. And you guys, I literally have not gotten to see Nina in probably 18 years. I met her through some of my girlfriends who I stay in touch with. So I got to see her. So it was so lovely. Like, her and I have lived parallel lives. Like, we've even had the same back problems, and we lost both our dogs, and we like all the same stuff. But her and her husband, Marco, are celebrating their 20-year anniversary soon. So congratulations, Nina, on that, to you and Marco. But then I was like, I cut it a little close getting to the Austin airport. So I was like doing the Home Alone run through the airport. But I got there, luckily, Austin Airport, I'm just going to give a shout out, is one of my favorite airports to come in and out of. They've got all kinds of amazing like food and shops, and it's small. I mean, you think Austin is a huge city and it would have a gigantic airport, but it's perfect. Like, you can get in and out of there really quick. So I got there and I finally got to the gate because I wasn't, too far from TSA, and I got an awesome cup of coffee there. So my whole theme of the weekend was coffee, music, podcasting, news. That was kind of the big things that I hit up. But I just wanted to say to everybody I got to hang out with this weekend, I loved seeing everybody. A huge thank you to Rogue Media for inviting me down, giving me such an amazing opportunity to put my podcast on Pod People on KWTX, which is it's so nice to get to a greater audience. Baylor's there, and I would love to get to a lot of college kids with my message and what I'm doing. Thanks for listening and enjoy. Well, I could go on forever and ever about moving you closer to your dreams, but I probably should save some thoughts for the next episode. A big thanks goes out to you for making time for me today. And making time for me, you're making time for future you, and we're both grateful. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe to the podcast, download the episodes, and leave me a 5-star review. I would really appreciate it. In return, if you go to my website, marriottsonthemove.com, and register for the Monday mailer, I'll send you a free Fred workbook to get your journey started. This is also where you can find all the show notes and all the ways to get in touch with me. A special thanks goes out to Rogue Media for its wisdom and partnership. Until next time, friends, keep moving forward towards your dreams. Oh, and the legal stuff. This podcast is presented solely for educational and entertainment purposes. I am a certified coach, not a licensed therapist, and this is not meant to replace the professional advice of a physician, psychotherapist, or other qualified professionals. This is solely my perspective based on my own experience and training. Okay, now it's over. For reals. Bye for now.
This has been a Rogue Media Network